All right, and welcome everyone to the Package Root Weekly Sync for February 24th, 2020. I have the first several items on the list, and so I'll kick those off. There's an interesting discussion on reducing test times going on in an epic that I've shared. It's in gitlab.org, epic number 25, if anyone's following along at home and would like to see it. And the next point is I've created a GraphQL epic. I'm looking for help from the team to flesh that epic out into something that we can execute on. The intention there is to implement GraphQL on the back end to sort of unblock the front end engineers as much as possible so that we don't have every small change needing to have some API change done, and then the full cycle of deployment and etc. So that is Epic 2701. Friendly reminder that we should remember to do async updates in our issues and only need to include merged and blocking items in our default standups. Happy for everyone to include whatever they'd like, but wanted to remind people that the async issue updates are a priority. Next one, and this is my last one, thankfully. We also have an epic for implementing online garbage collection for the container registry that I could use help fleshing out. I appreciate everyone's feedback. If you have some time, if you have some feedback, I should say, and that is epic 2313. And over to João.
Yeah, so we started a discussion about detaching the container registry from the upstream repository. So in 12.8, we have shipped the first feature that is not available upstream, and we are actually moving faster than upstream, so it makes sense to detach and give us some more flexibility to move on with additional features and bug fixes. And one of the things that we are discussing right now is renaming the import path and possibly the package name as well. So the discussion is going on. We are going to involve more people, but if anyone wants to share their opinion, that would be great. Apart from that, I had a question about the release post and also the documentation. So I was wondering if you need to start mentioning whenever a certain improvement related to the container registry will only be available in GitLab if someone is using our container registry and not the one from the upstream. That was the case for the tag delete improvements. So I think we'll definitely need to start mentioning this whenever we introduce new features. In this case, it was a performance improvement. So I was wondering if we should do the same. Do you want to share your opinion, Tim, on this?
You're totally muted, Tim.
Can you repeat the question? Sorry, I was looking at it. I'm sorry, I was multitasking and I shouldn't have been.
That's fine. I was just wondering if you should start mentioning in the release post and also on the GitLab documentation whenever a feature or an improvement depends on the usage of our container registry, like it is the case for the tag delete API performance improvements. Because I noticed that it wasn't mentioned on the release post that that will only apply if people are using our container registry.
Yeah, I think that we should start doing that. Maybe we can, I mean, that makes sense, right? We probably need to come up with, because I think I'm calling it like the GitLab container registry, but I think we could be more explicit, it sounds like. Okay, let's figure that out. I'll open an issue just to see how we should market that. Is that the best way forward, or do you have a specific solution in mind?
Not really. I think we need to discuss that.
Okay, I'll open an issue today.
Okay, thank you. On to Nico.
Yeah, so now that the new container registry MRs are all merged, we need to start to roll out the feature. But by doing a too wide rollout in the beginning, I already stumbled on somebody's toes. So maybe we should decide on a plan how we want to do so, especially because this is a big particular feature because it's two different feature flag. The new container registry and the group level container registry. And they both need to be enabled to have it on the group, and only the new container registry needs to be enabled to have it on the project. If nobody has no other objection, I can go with the documentation reference, like 25, 50, 75, and then for everybody. But if anybody else has better ideas, we can also discuss that.
Can you maybe give, now the container registry is all merged, are you talking about a specific feature here, Nico?
I'm talking about the new UI with view router, the famous proof of concept, which is not anymore a proof of concept because it's all implemented.
And my favorite proofs of concept that turn out to be excellent work and then appear in our product. What do you think the competing concerns are here, Nico?
Well, when I the first time enabled on staging for the wall staging, I actually ended up hindering a bit the test for the container registry improvement, even though real quick. Luckily, we were all online, so it was fixed fast. I just don't want to repeat the mistake. So maybe if Joao and Ellie have some feature that needs to be tested soon or not, that can be the difference, right? Because it's a full rewrite, so it may still be that something really small doesn't work.
So are you asking whether we have an appropriate test plan? Do you want to have it?
Yeah, if there are tests that are needed to be performed on the endpoint, or like stuff that needs to be tested on the container registry, right? And uses the UI to perform those tests.
Okay, so does it make sense to like have a release issue, or do you want to discuss this in the feature, the primary issue for this feature, so that Joao and Haley can comment there if they are concerned about testing anything? What do you think makes sense as far as communicating, I guess, is that question?
I think the issue makes sense. If nobody has an opinion right now, we can discuss it as sync for sure. I will make a proposal and then we can say, okay, this is good, or no, this is not good.
Cool. All right. Thanks for that, Nico. Thanks for raising that too. And I appreciate you trying to avoid having us have the same issues that we did last time. So that's great. Thank you for that. Yeah, just discuss that issue, and just can you tag Joao and Haley and myself at least? I'm just curious. I want to make sure I know what's going on there. Cool. All right, and we are at the end of our agenda items, 10 minutes in, so we're doing well this Monday morning. Does anyone have anything here they'd like to discuss further before we stop recording? Nope. All right, I'm going to stop the recording, and if people would like to, they're more than welcome to hang around for a minute and chat. And if not, please feel free to also drop off. I just want to say thank you to everyone. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day, whatever that looks like. And thanks for joining us. See you later.